Hey guys, Goat Mom here, and we are back for an advice video about school because you guys have asked so many questions about school. Yes, I'm still going to do the other advice video, but you had so many school related questions we thought we'd do a back to school special. And since she's been in school more recently than me, I brought my co-host, NightCove the Fox.
What's up?
So, okay, a few questions you guys wanted to cover. Advice on going to junior high and changing classes, advice on high school, advice on anxiety and depression regarding school, and how to make friends. So I guess we'll tackle some of those things. Middle school, I just want to start by saying, initially for me, middle school was very exciting because you're thinking it's finally going to be different. Like you get to go to I don't know how many in your country or state, but in our state it was 6 different classes plus lunch, plus you could add a before or after class. So you could do like a pre-class and a 7th hour elective. So it's really exciting for some junior highs or middle schools. They just offer a lot of really cool things you've never experienced. So try to think of the positives first. I know it's exciting, but it's also anxiety riddling because you have to switch classrooms and all that. But I have to say, definitely go to the open house, or what we used to do with our kids at Night Cove was we'd go a couple nights before when there was nobody there and just kind of walk around and start looking at the numbers and take her schedule and kind of map it out, and then we would do that again on open night or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then it just makes you feel better because you kind of already know where you're going. You can kind of map it out. But definitely go and meet the teachers and, do that whole cute thing they do if you can, because it kind of lowers your anxiety a little bit. Don't you think?
Yeah, it helps you kind of gear up for knowing what to expect, knowing what you're getting into, because the switch because most elementary schools in America, I think, or at least in the West, where I went to elementary school, it was very just you sit in one classroom with the same teacher for 6 hours during the day. You go to recess, you get a lunch, but it's very much just kind of you're stuck in one place. But junior high is kind of gearing you up for high school, where you'll be carrying everything you need with you all the time. You'll be constantly moving around by the hour. And there's no recess anymore. You only get one lunch period, so sometimes that takes some adjusting too for younger kids who loved recess. Mm-hmm. It requires, you to be a little more focused in your classes, and sometimes you can get lost, if it's your first week, because you have to go from one side of campus all the way to the other, depending on your classes. That happened to me a lot.
They give you 6 minutes, and you're like, oh my God, but it's okay. They're understanding. Don't worry, they'll give you time.
Yeah, especially for the first week, because they know that everyone's going to get lost, especially if you're a first year in middle school, because I think most middle schools have 2 years. It's 7th and 8th grade.
Yeah, sometimes 3.
Yeah, sometimes. It depends on what school, but for me it was 2 years. So 7th grade, I was so lost. Luckily, by 8th grade, I had gotten used to the whereabouts of the campus, so I knew where I was going. But don't feel bad if you get a little lost. I'm sure your teachers will understand, because there's countless other students who are also getting lost with you simultaneously. So I guess the adjustment period is probably going to be the scariest thing. The change from being able to just sit in one place for the whole day to having the responsibility of showing up on time at certain places, and maybe a little more homework than you're used to getting. But I guarantee you're going to have lots of fun. I met all of my friends, most of my friends, I think, in junior high. So you'll get to meet a whole bunch of new people, even more so than you did in your elementary school, probably, because now you're getting kids from different elementary schools coming into the new school. So new people, new faces. More chances for you to find people that share the same interests as you, that you can bond over. I met all of my friends in middle school because we all liked Five Nights at Freddy's. So for a matter of perspective there, I think that just focus on the fun part of it.
Yeah.
The adjusting will come naturally.
Yeah.
It might be the biggest thing you have to get used to, but I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, don't be too hard on yourself because, again, like she said, everyone's going through it. The teachers have done this a million times. They understand, you know, if you happen to get a teacher that doesn't understand or that's kind of a dork, then, you know, tell somebody, tell your parents or tell the principal, hey, this teacher's, you know, kind of being mean to me. You know, don't be afraid to speak up, and you have rights, like as a student, to be in a safe, fun environment. So if you have issues, talk about them. That's the biggest mistake I think kids do. Thank you, Timmy.
Timmy's coming over to give some advice.
Yeah, he's right there. He's like,
hi.
You want to go to school?
I don't think you do. He's sticking his
he'd
little
be
nose
cute.
through
Yep. Wish you could see this.
the... Boop it.
She's booping snoots. But yeah, like just that's the biggest mistake some kids make is not standing up for themselves. And that goes with teachers or other students. Like voice your feelings. Start learning. It's middle school is a time where you are learning to become an adult. And like she said, you're learning to be aware of what you need for each class. You're carrying it on you. You get more responsibility. And on the good side, this is going to translate into your home life that your parents get to see that you are responsible. You're doing more grown-up things. And this is about the age your parents will start seeing you differently if you learn to handle these things in a calm and mature manner. It doesn't mean you have to be good at things. It just means you're learning to handle them in a mature manner and learning and finding your way and how to be yourself and ask questions and say, excuse me, I got lost 4 times. Can you help me? You know, ask for help, learn how to speak up. It's a good growing couple of years, I think. And it really gears you up for high school, which is the next thing is how to get ready for high school. It's kind of the same thing. Also join the clubs though. Like I highly recommend if they have clubs in your middle school or high school and there's things you love. A lot of kids were sending me messages saying, I don't think anyone's going to like me because I'm into weird stuff. Well, first of all, being into fandoms isn't that weird. A lot of kids are into different things. I mean, look how big Star Wars is. So it's no different Five Nights at Freddy's from Star Wars. It's just more people have heard of it. That's the only difference. So find a club and join it because then you'll find that group of people, you know, that love what you love. Because like at your school, they had like an anime club. They had like a D&D club.
Even in middle school, they have clubs.
Yeah.
So not to jump backwards
Yeah,
again,
no,
but middle
for
school,
sure.
Depends on the school again. But I think most usually have some clubs that are, you know, hosted by teachers but organized by students most of the time. So you got like your robotics club. You're like, I think we had like a Lego robotics club at my middle school. We had an art club.
Theater.
We had theater club in addition to our drama class, and we also had an anime club, which is where I actually had first ever seen My Hero Academia because it was that old. We watched the first episode of it like in class, but it was, you know, club class, but still. So clubs are also a good way to selectively find people that are also into the same things as you, and it's kind of an icebreaker because you know that you're already in a room with other people who are kind of like you, so it's less awkward to start conversation because if you're in an anime club, it's different than sitting in a classroom and asking your classmate, hey, you watch anime? And they're like, what the heck is that? Yeah. Where like, if you're in an anime club, you can be like, hey, what's your favorite anime? And they'd be like, oh my god, I love Attack on Titan. It's my favorite. What about yours? So it's kind of like an icebreaker. Clubs kind of serve as like a way to know that you're comfortably in a room full of other people. Yeah, like your people, you know.
You're with your people, yeah. And that goes for all levels. So yeah, definitely check out clubs. And if you're one of those, you know, anxiety-riddled people, kind of like I was, I don't know how anxious you were about being near people, but I always just assumed everyone was judging me all the time. First of all, as you get older, you're going to look back on yourself and be like, oh my gosh, I worried so much about things that probably weren't even happening. Because you worry more about how you look and are acting probably than other people because they're busy worrying about what you think of them. So even though you think they're all judging you, they're most likely worried about how they're being judged. So you're all in it together. So just be kind. I mean, even to the mean people, just ignore them, walk away, you know, or be like, hey, you look kind of stressed today. You good?
You need a hug?
Yeah, like, you know, like be that person. You know, you never know where it'll lead you. So just find the things that make you feel included, and don't be afraid to try things, new things, because what's the worst that's going to happen? You won't like it, you'll go to a different club, or, you know, you'll take a different class the next semester. But this is where you're going to start learning about who you are and what you like, what you'll accept, what you won't accept, and that comes with people, adults, teachers, subjects. You know, you're going to really fine tune the things that matter to you and the things that don't. So listen to yourself too. And don't be too hard on yourself, right? Like, we're all too hard on ourselves. Like, enjoy the good things that come out of it. And talk to your parents. If you're having issues that are really affecting you, anxiety, depression, bullying, talk to the adults. Oh my God, please tell somebody, because you will feel so much more confident walking into a classroom where you already know that you've talked to the teacher and the teacher's talked to the principal, and they're all on the same page with you about Billy in the corner who's always throwing, you know, Band-Aids at you or whatever. You know, I'm just making stuff up. But you know what I mean? Like, if you sit down and you're like, oh my God, Billy's going to throw shit at me again today, you know, oh my God. But if you came in and sat down and went, all right, I've already talked to all the adults in the room, and now I know if Billy throws, you know, something at me, all I got to do is like give my teacher that signal, and the teacher's going to be like, Billy, get your ass out of here. No, but you know, just like get a support group. Don't think that what you're feeling is not important to the adults, because it probably is, and you just don't realize it. So, and if they don't handle it, take it higher up, take it to their boss, and don't be afraid. Go to the little cute meeting, right, at the beginning of the year. Meet your teachers. You know, try to be that kid that participates in class or helps out, because I think you can attest to the fact that if the teacher likes you, your year's going to be a lot better.
Yeah, I had a really cool French teacher, and I took French 1 freshman year, French 2 my sophomore year, and then French 3 my junior year, and then by the time I was a junior and I was taking French 3, I got to take French 3 while sitting in a French 2 classroom. And the reason I got to was not only because of a schedule conflict. So if I wanted to still dance with the high school company, I would have had to have done it. Otherwise, I would have had to have given up French. And I didn't want to give up either one. So they compromised, and they allowed me to be what's called a teacher's aide, which basically means that you can, and I don't know if other schools, I think, again, most schools offer this sort of thing, or like service hours as well, which is good for scholarships. But that basically means you just get to help the teacher around. You can help them teach lessons sometimes if you are a more advanced level student and you happen to be TAing for a lower level class that they're teaching. Sometimes the teacher will invite you to, you know, give examples or help them teach. Sometimes they'll just make you go run papers to the office and back so that you can get out of the class for a second. Mm-hmm. You know, you're basically like their errand person that like helps around the classroom. And but I got to do that and also learn French 3 with one-on-one lessons with my French teacher, which was really helpful because I have trouble focusing in class sometimes. Especially when there's rowdy kids in the room. So it was very nice to have one-on-one sessions with her, and I learned so much better than I did the previous 2 years. So that's like a fun experience too, is being able to bond with certain teachers that kind of just click with you or like sit well, you know, having that mutual respect for each other, helping them out, you know, being a teacher's aide, or just being a good student so that, you know, you establish that, you know, like, I'm one of the good ones, sort of a thing, because your teachers will really respect you if you decide to be one of the students that does not give them crap.
Exactly. You get a nice rapport with the teachers, and they're going to support you when you have problems. So, you know, and you don't even have to be a teacher's aide. Let's just say, you know, you always have rough years with other students and you just want a little extra support. Just go talk to the teacher after school, or, you know, just ask them, hey, how's your day going? You know, I had kind of a rough day, you know, and tell them about it a little bit. See if they're receptive to listening to you. And then, you know, they're going to remember you and think, oh, next time Billy is acting up, they might be a little more firm or be on your side. So don't underestimate the power of speaking what you're feeling to your teachers, because some of them are so amazing. I know some don't care, and you get a little mix of everything in school. You know, you'll probably get 4 good teachers and maybe a couple that are like, but, you know, maybe you'll get lucky. Whatever. It's how you make your experience work for you that matters. The other question I got a lot was just anxiety and depression regarding school. There is online schooling. I mention that because that's something that helped me as a kid in high school. But some parents don't go for that. Some schools don't go for that. Check into it. Make sure that it's a fit for you, because as much as you want to stay home and do your schoolwork, you've got to be real. You got to make sure you're the type of person that can get yourself to the desk every morning and do your work and not fall behind, and be mature enough to understand if you're not that personality type, because you don't want to choose that if you're not.
Yeah, it does take a certain level of discipline in yourself to, especially if you're on enrolled in an online program that kind of just allows you to log in whenever you please, 24/7 access, where you just kind of do the work when you feel like it. That's the kind of enrollment I had online, and there would be times where when I wasn't mentally in it, I would just let it sit there, and my grades would start dropping, and then I'd have to sit down and like binge an entire unit to catch back up, which wasn't the best pacing. I survived, still got A's, but
got A's.
I would always advise that if you are going to enroll in an online class that places all of the responsibility on yourself, just make sure that you are going to have some sort of like regime or system in place for yourself that like makes you get up. You know, you do your self-care moment, because that's very important for your anxiety and your, burnout. But also just create like a system for yourself that is rewarding, but also strict enough that it keeps you focused and keeps you getting the work done at a good pace, so that you don't fall behind. Because if I know anything, I know that sometimes falling behind on online school feels worse than having to get up in the morning and go to public school.
Yeah.
Because then it's all you. You have no fingers to point. It's all just you.
You're like,
so it's almost worse sometimes, because you're like, man, I suck. I'm lazy. I can't get up and do my math homework. So I would just put that, fair, transparent warning out there as an online student. It does also come with its own risks and benefits. So just weigh those before you make that decision, because it will give you a lot of relief in terms of, you don't have to wake up super early in the morning and get dressed and look presentable and show up to school and, rush back and forth between classes, sit down, deal with people you don't want to deal with in person. It does eliminate all of that, but it also comes with its own baggage.
Yes.
So just make sure that that baggage is something that you are willing to deal with and handle. But again, just a fair warning,
baggage.
Do your research, look at a few different options maybe, because there are different programs you can enroll in for online schooling, I'm sure.
For sure. And if your parents say no, absolutely not, I mean, you can have a calm conversation. You can give them the bullet point, presentation on why you think it will work for you. But ultimately, respect their decision. If they say you have to go because they probably know you better, like they're going to be like, yeah, you're all fired up about it now, but I know in 60 days you're going to have an F, and I'm going to be having to drag you out of bed to get on your computer because you let 10 assignments go. Who knows what your parents are going to think. But if that's what they think, either have a conversation about it, or go to school and make the best of it. And you never know, like your new best friend might be in your 3rd hour class and you just haven't met them yet. So, going to school in person has its wonderful rewards as well. So, you get to do dance or art or anime and meet all the people that are into the same stuff as you. So that's the other thing with online schooling. Obviously, you don't get that personal connection or that socialization. That is Timmy drinking.
Every time I record anything out here, that's the time he drinks for 10 minutes straight. He won't drink all day. And then as soon as he sees the camera out, he's like, oh, now's the time.
Yeah, he's got his little face turned to his
He's
water bottle.
turned sideways to drink.
And he's like,
Your face
good?
looks funny.
Are you good, bro?
He's going to smack it around in his mouth a little bit.
He's swilling it.
Like a good whiskey.
Things to help with anxiety and high school. Be prepared, Read the pieces of paper that your teacher has handed you the first day of school that says bring this, this, and this. Figure it out, make a checklist, and do it. I don't know, if you're the type of kid that it helps to be completely prepared, pick out your clothes the night before. Sometimes my kids would take a shower, get in their outfit the night before, go to sleep in that outfit so they could get up
That was me
and
in
hit the bus
elementary
stop.
school. Because, for the first day of school in elementary, I feel like it was more exciting because it was more expected, you know,
Yeah.
what you were getting into. Because when you go to the same elementary school, by the time you're in sixth grade, you
grade.
know the drill.
Yeah.
Hardly anything changes. So I would just be like, all right, sleeping in my clothes for the next day. I know what's up. Gotta get up at 6 for the bus. I'll be ready. I'm just gonna shove toast in my mouth and go.
Yeah, you're just ready by 6th grade, and then everything changes for middle school.
But I did like my non-elective prerequisite classes that are like required for graduation online. Hated doing math online, so I ended up my junior year returning to campus for just my math class, just my French, and just my dance. So basically like 2 electives and then math, obviously.
And that's something you can talk to your parents and your teachers about. There might be some classes you could take online that you feel more comfortable at home, and then some of them that you know as a mature person, you know you do better on campus, like math, because for her, math was easier to learn in person with an instructor than just, you know, words on a screen. So, you know, figure that out for yourself. Talk to your parents, talk to your counselor. You have a guidance counselor in every grade. Use them. They are good. This is what they do. Their job is to make your life better with everything you're going through and with your special circumstances or needs that you might have. So don't forget to use them. And on that note, there is programs if you do have a special need, like you need more time to study, you need a quiet classroom. So have your parents, if you're struggling with something, have your parents check into what in our state is called a 504, but every state's different. So have them check into that. It's for people who sometimes, if you're ADHD or ADD or you have other issues, they can make accommodations for testing and for certain things where you get a little extra time, or you get to take it alone in the library where there's not all the noise, or you're allowed to wear, you know, sound canceling headphones, you know, stuff like that. So if you're really struggling, look into that. You know, be proactive on your life. You're only going to take this school journey for that 12 years, and then you'll go to college if you decide to. So make it a good one. Like, do what you can. Be proactive in your school education so that it's the best it can be. Don't just be that, you know, lump in the corner that's like, I hate school. Everybody hates me. You know, go do something about it. Get up and do something about it. Make your life awesome somehow, whatever that takes. Right? I mean, school can suck, but it can be amazing. Just depends, right? On what you do with it.
Because we talked about making friends in clubs or finding people that share your interests. Talked about, you know, anxiety. You know, you can talk to your counselor, your parents, even your friends. You know, you can confide in each other and your shared anxiety, probably, because I'm sure you're not the only one. Yeah. There's a lot of anxious kids out there when it comes to public school because, you know, it's school. Yep. Need I say anything else? It's public school. Yeah. But yeah, I think that the most exciting thing is just seeing new faces, you know, getting to meet new people, you know, and even like learn more things about yourself in terms of your education or what you want to pursue in the future, career-wise, or even just like getting to know your own identity, or, you know, just the growth journey is also very exciting too, I think. Being able to grow up and, you know, take new elective classes. Elective classes are super fun too. Oh, so cool. I think, again, most schools allow students to choose 1 or 2, sometimes 3 elective classes, which are basically classes that you sign up for in addition to your, you know, required core curriculum classes like math, English, science, history. Yeah. But outside of that, you're usually able to pick a couple of classes like art or guitar or orchestra, choir, band, you know, marching band, drama, so many things, depending on what your school offers. Yeah, it varies depending, but those are also very fun to get into because you can explore different avenues of your interests and learn about them. Yeah. I took a programming class that was super fun. I got to like develop apps and stuff, but it was still fun, you know, pushing my brain to like figure out something new. But I think there's a lot of fun aspects to school, whether it be online or in person. But yeah, I think that most of it should just be you having fun with it and learning yourself, making friends if you would like to make friends. If you're introverted and you just want to keep your head down and get through it, all
That's
respect.
fine too.
I've
Yeah.
had those years where I'm like, I don't feel like making friends and socializing this year. I'm just gonna keep my head down and get straight A's, do what I'm there for. That's cool too. But yeah, whatever you choose to do, just have fun with it. And remember that, it's gonna go by like that.
Yeah,
So
enjoy
even
it.
yeah, enjoy it. Like I blinked and high school was over for me. But the years that I did have, especially in middle school was like terrible at first, and then once I met my friends, it was a blast for the rest of the like 1.5 years. So you never know what life's gonna throw at you, but.
And be picky about your friends. Don't be afraid. A lot of questions I get is, what do I do with the toxic friend? How do I deal with them? Don't. My God, you have a whole school full of people, I know that you're like want to hang on to the people that you're used to, but get new friends. Yeah, I mean, it's better to be alone and focus on you for a while and wait for new friends. Find that club with similar interests, stuff like that. Make sure that your friends are worthy of your friendship. So don't hang on to toxic people just to have friends. Do not get hung up on grades. Like I know a lot of parents are like, oh my God, you didn't get an A. Okay, I came from a household kind of like that. It tears down your self-esteem really fast and makes you not want to try very hard. Be happy with a passing grade. Get the best grade you can. You want an A? Sure, we all want A's, but some of us can try our best. Our brains aren't wired that way. Maybe a B is all we'll ever get. Maybe a C in some of our subjects. Anything below that is probably you're not understanding it. Get a tutor, or maybe you're not trying. Maybe you're not studying. You know yourself better than anyone. Get some help on figuring out that part, and don't beat yourself up about it. Just do your very best. Do your best with your grades. Have the conversation with your parents. Say, I'm not understanding this. I need tutors. I need help. I need extra time. But, don't just have that fight with your parents. Like, you need to get a B. Well, I got a D. Well, you need to get a B or an A. Well, I can only get a C or a D. Like, that's not constructive. Why do you think you got this grade? And you can be like, well, I didn't apply myself. I goofed off. I screwed off. I didn't do my homework. Or you might say, I didn't understand. I didn't process it. I just cannot get it. That's two different answers. Figure out if it's the one that you can handle and control, or if it's something you need help with, and then fix it. Just don't settle for the turmoil. Fix the problems as they come up. It's part of that growing into a mature person that you will become, Mm-hmm. Don't just wallow and go, I'm just not good at history. I'm going to take the D. Just give me the D. That's probably not true. You could probably apply yourself. You could probably put down the video game controller for an extra hour, do a little extra studying. I know it sucks, but again, school's not forever. And get that D to a B or whatever. And if you're struggling because of the content, ask for help. Ask a friend. Ask a teacher. Get a tutor. It's okay. Don't be so hard on yourself. And have fun with school. Depression comes because you probably don't know or have the tools to deal with all the things we just talked about. So if you still are depressed, please talk to a professional. We are not professionals. We are just regular people that have been through some shit.
Very disorganized, easily distracted, personal advice givers.
Yeah.
What you do with this advice
is
completely in your hands. But this is just our scatterbrained
personal
dumping to try and help.
Yeah.
But
like if you were in our family, this is what we would say to you when you came and plopped down on the couch next to us or in our bedroom. We'd be like, bro. So this is some good bro advice. That's about it.
From bro to bro. This is some very casual advice, my dude.
Yeah, but get a professional. Like if you're struggling, if you're crying every day, that's depression. That's not just you figuring out your emotions. Like there are some things that are just your emotions. And remember, I tell you guys this all the time, until you are 25, 26, your front part of your brain is not done developing. You do not have the ability to reason about some things. So don't beat yourself up. And your emotions are going to be balancing out, and they're going to do this sometimes, and they're going to do this until you're in your probably mid-20s. So if you're struggling very hard as they do that, get some help. There are things that can help, but you need to get a professional. So, and that's it. I hope you guys have a great time at school. Focus on the positive. Do some cool stuff. Do something you would never do. Try a new thing. Like let's say you never cook. Go take a cooking class. or learn Japanese or French or Spanish, or learn to draw anime, or, find that kid that looks like they're so lonely and go be their friend. Do something cool. Be that person's new best friend. You never know. You might find your new best friend. Any final advice?
Not really.
Doesn't matter what you wear. I want to throw that out there. Sorry, I just interrupted you, but
Oh,
that's
no.
another thing. So many kids are like, I don't have the new shoes. I don't have the new this. It does not matter. Like, your parents and you are doing the best you can. Be proud of yourself. Be proud of your parents. Don't let anybody talk down to you because of that kind of crap. I hate that.
Mm-hmm. If you do go to public school, for the love of all things holy, if kids start doing stupid stuff because TikTok tells them to, or some stupid trends
Please
start
don't.
arising,
Stop.
don't jump off that bridge. Because even before TikTok existed, I'm not even just blaming TikTok. TikTok's just, a vehicle for it.
Yeah.
But stupid behavior and stupid trends have always existed, even since her days, snorting cinnamon.
Yeah.
Just
Dumb
stupid
shit.
things,
Drinking
don't
cinnamon oil.
stay safe. And
Yeah.
even if your best friend is like, haha, we should go stand in the middle of the road and do that TikTok trend where people jump in front of cars or something stupid. Don't do that, because there's something about the herd mentality of public school teenagers sometimes that can be very dangerous. So
Yes.
just don't be peer pressured into anything.
Be yourself.
Always trust your gut. Always
Yeah.
be smart.
Be safe.
Even if it's your best, most trusted friend telling you to do something stupid and pressuring you to do it. Doesn't matter if it's, drugs or something as lighthearted as,
Snorting
skipping a
cinnamon
class.
oil. Yeah, skipping
or
a
something.
class. Yeah.
Just always trust your gut. Don't allow yourself to be peer pressured into anything that makes you uncomfortable. Stand up for yourself and just focus on, keeping yourself safe and having fun and making sure that the negativity is at least the most minimized it can be for you when you go to school. That would be my advice, because I've been around a lot of interesting experiences and interesting people in school. So I guess that's just my final word of advice is, don't jump on a bandwagon.
Correct. Remember, this is your journey into who you will become as a mature adult human. And as the choices you make through these classes and through these years, define yourself in a respectable way. Don't jump off and do something stupid and crazy that isn't you because someone else did it, because your best friend did it. Maybe it's time to reevaluate if you have toxic friends. Make good choices. Make choices that you'd be proud of yourself for. And if you do screw up, don't be too hard on yourself. Everything is a lesson to be learned. So learn a lesson. Every mistake, sometimes you learn more from your mistakes than you learn from doing something right. Just do your best with what you have and continue to grow and learn every day and be a better version of yourself. And don't forget to ask for help when you need it. Stay true to yourself. And if you don't know who you are, pay very close attention to what you know you don't like and what you know you do like, and start sticking that in your brain. I don't really like it when so-and-so does that. Stick that in the folder, man. That's cool. I liked it when so-and-so did that nice deed for so-and-so. Put that in your folder. You start filing these invisible papers into your personality of what you like and what you don't like, and start making smart, mature, good decisions. Mm-hmm. And when you have conversations with adults, start practicing coming to them as if you are an adult, a mature, calm, keep your voice calm, have some facts to back up what you're going to say, adult, and enjoy your journey as you get there and have a lot of fun doing it.
Word.
Bye, guys.